a little tipsy.
You were driving tipsy?
A little bit.
How dare you?
We're not having you on this podcast. It's
Were
like
you in
Lost.
his
When you're
car?
caught drunk driving, you're kicked off your
No,
fight.
I was strapped to the top.
No, I wasn't. I was.
That might.
I'm not.
was safer. I
If
felt
going
safer.
by safe driving videos to be believed,
Yeah.
that's probably the safest place because in your car everything goes flying around
Yeah.
when you're in a crash.
Yeah.
So
I mean, unless the car, rolls, then
that
we don't
doesn't
want
happen.
that.
That doesn't happen.
That never happens.
Hey guys, welcome to Peeves and Cues. I'm your host, humble or not, Mr. Red, and we also have Clever Girl,
Hi!
Quaff Man,
Why am I here?
and a very special guest.
My name's Taylor.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, another female on the show.
That's right.
Thank God.
It's about time.
I didn't think of a clever name.
That's
time.
No, that one's mine. You can't even
That's
say
right,
clever.
okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing clever. Nothing.
Start over.
In fact, just don't talk for the remainder of the
Reset.
day.
Just call her the girlfriend.
All right, I'm
The
out.
girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that is all that you.
No, I'm gonna.
That is
go.
all that you are to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, how long can we let that sit there?
Yeah. So we're definitely missing our
We-
special our one
one-time guest.
Are we? Is
Well,
somebody
he was
not
just
here?
a one-time guest.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I mean, he wasn't even supposed
who
to be.
seriously wasn't watching him and he got up from the chair?
Yeah.
It
I
wasn't.
know.
It wasn't on my shit.
I just went to the bathroom for like 5 minutes. He was
So
gone
it
when I
was
got
your
back.
fault.
I fully take responsibility.
Though I might have been in my room,
Yeah.
so I feel we share responsibility in allowing.
To be honest, I forgot he was there entirely.
I mean, he
all I
does
know
that.
is I'm responsible for cleaning the newspaper out from under the chair,
well,
which is the worst job.
who let him
Oh, I
off the
bet.
leash, though? I think
Well,
it belongs to that person.
He probably picked the lock.
He probably chewed through his arm
Yeah. Well,
and got out.
That's what
Joke
that was.
got really dark.
horrible.
I
Let's
just want to
move-
say to those listening,
He must not have gotten
we
very
don't
far.
keep Jordan locked to a chair.
Anymore.
As far
Anymore,
as
yeah.
you know.
As far there's
We
no
don't lock
evidence.
him, we rope him.
That's-
We just
okay.
tie him
Yeah,
there.
that's-
He's
that's
not
it.
locked there.
If
Come
If this
on.
is your first
We're not
episode,
savages.
I'm sorry.
Bad
but
I'm not.
yeah, okay, whatever. So, how are you guys?
It's been a rough week.
It's been a very rough week. Yeah, this is a podcast where we ask each other questions, talk about what's annoying us each and every week. Usually that part comes earlier. Sometimes I've had a drink and I forget things. So, but yeah, I mean, I have,
What was I gonna say?
All right.
I have. Yes, it's been a rough week, but there have been some good moments. I had a really busy day at work, but week at work, not day, Saturday, and actually, there's a local radio station, CK 105.5, that asked me to do a mannequin challenge video for them.
Ooh.
And so I took
Nice.
an hour off of work, maybe two, on like Thursday, and I went out to the mall and I shot a mannequin challenge and put it up on YouTube.
What's a mannequin challenge?
It's this thing going around where mainly like production teams have been doing them lately. Those are the ones that I've seen, but I'm sure everybody's doing them. Where
You just
everyone,
don't see them.
strikes a pose in their workplace of them like what they do every day, and a camera just goes around and they're just still life, and you get to
Yeah.
see like
at work.
and everything that's going on at like one time.
That's really cool.
They're just frozen
It
in
is.
place.
Yeah, my
So-
office has been thinking about doing one, so maybe we'll get you to do one.
Maybe. If they want to look up the one online, if anybody does, it's CK 105.5 hashtag mannequin challenge on YouTube. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I didn't get paid or anything, but I got some movie tickets, so
Yes.
we should go see a movie.
Yes.
So,
Save them for Rogue One.
well, I don't know if they'd work on modern, but anyway,
Whatever.
Rogue One. I'm excited for. Anyone excited for Rogue One?
I am.
I'm getting more excited.
Indifferent.
Yes, you're new to the Star Wars world
You're new
Yeah,
to the
I-
Star Wars.
universe.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
The Star Wars.
I'm only a year into it.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I
So
feel you.
here's a good check in. Which ones have you seen? Which ones have you not seen?
I've not seen the bad ones.
So you haven't seen like
That's
4,
up to
5, and
God.
6, right?
Stop it.
Shut your mouth.
This is my least favorite recurring gag on this show.
Which ones did we?
You saw 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
You saw, yes, you saw a new
Star
Hope,
Wars,
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back,
Star Wars.
Return
Star
of the
Wars,
Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I showed you a clip from
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Was it? I
Yes.
miss you
No.
so much.
No.
I'm gonna say that
No.
now.
No. Please, God, don't. No, it's
I don't know what you're...
You will try.
You will try.
What's that?
Whatever. I love
stop you.
Hayden.
Yeah.
I love Hayden Christensen, and I will stick up for him every
And
time.
we've seen the first 20 minutes
Yeah.
of Force Awakens before you had to go.
And I spent a childhood playing Battlefront, so oops. So that's
Okay.
It contributes a little.
Okay. Well, you got to see those first quote unquote
Okay.
3.
The prequels.
Yeah, they're the best. They're my favorite.
She's a young mind in the Star Wars. Don't condition
and
her to hate.
yeah,
Star Wars.
exactly. Don't condition her.
It's
into
just
hate.
like there's people who like Ewoks. They're wrong,
They're
but
gross.
they
The
exist.
Ewoks are
Weird.
adorable. What are you on
They're
about?
creepy and weird, and their faces are frozen.
You're
and
trolling me.
Hey, they blink
They're
now.
tiny and cute. They're like baby Wookiees.
Trolling me right now.
Yikes.
Are you insane?
Okay, guys. Calm down.
No, we're fighting about this.
No, let's save this for Rogue One episode.
Yeah. It'll start with like, Rogue One is cool. Wookiees are awesome. Wait, Ewoks are awesome.
I fucking
Yes,
love the
Wookiees
prequels.
are awesome.
Wookiees are awesome.
Wouldn't have been
And
awesome
tiny
if it
little
had been
bite-sized
actual
Ewoks.
Wookiees.
Yeah, they're tiny bite-sized Wookiees. You know, we'll talk about this off air. We'll talk about this off air.
Put that on a t-shirt. Hashtag bite-sized Wookiees.
Let's do it. Yeah. Well, other than that, like, I'm good.
Nice.
What have you been up to? Just working.
Quitting, mostly.
What?
Yikes.
Quentin Tarantino.
Quitting Tarantino. Nope, quit one job. Woo.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So focusing on the other.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about
Not today.
that? Okay.
Maybe next time.
Well,
I thought when you said quitting, you were just talking about getting a foot fetish or something. I don't know.
oh, still Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, sorry.
You good? You good? Everyone
I'm good.
I mean,
As good as one can
Yeah,
be,
as
given
good as
current
one can
situations.
Look.
In case
Well,
you
the
didn't
cup
hear that,
says it all. Get
in
shit
case
Get
done.
someone
shit
heard that, he was
done.
sipping his coffee.
Yes. And you...
Just making sure.
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, let's jump into either questions or peeves.
peeves. So it's the way it's the way the show goes. Peeves and cues. Who wants to start with our peeves? Whoa.
I'll
They
start
can't see you looking at me.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't see me.
They can
They
hear.
can feel me.
They,
Yeah,
they
I felt
can,
it.
they can see you with that shirt, but
Okay, fine.
This will not
My
translate.
bright neon
Yeah.
yellow
Neon
green
green.
shirt.
yellow.
I think that it's
I think-
too offensive to be a color.
I think I was gonna say. I think a
just visual
neon of
noise.
that sensibility occupies a separate
Spectrum.
entity from.
It's on its own spectrum.
It's like you've
The note
invented a new
spectrum.
color,
Yeah.
yeah.
and that's not a compliment.
Mutated a different color.
It's
That's
just
right.
so visually noisy.
So would you like to go first?
It,
Okay.
you know when someone vomits, I'm not saying it looks like that. I'm saying it feels like that. When you're vomiting,
Yeah.
that's what the shirt
Yeah.
feels like to look at.
So aside from your shirt, one of my peeves would be, I suppose. Wow. I'm sorry. I don't like. Hey, go
Yeah, he's
back.
like, I'll just leave that.
No, you're good. You're fine. I don't like when I'm waiting for an elevator, or like I go up to an elevator and I press the button and it glows, indicating it's been pressed.
Oh, yeah.
Then someone else comes up, waiting for the elevator, and then they press it again. Like it's not.
Ah.
It's
that doesn't
not,
make it move faster.
Yeah.
It's not a
God.
personal attack on me. It's not like they
Right.
thought I couldn't handle the responsibility.
Pressing the button.
It's like you do it like this.
It's just the idea that people are so impatient
Right.
always.
That is
they have to-
crazy. Yeah.
Same as when we finally get in the elevator and I have to spend the next 10 seconds of my life with this moron.
Yeah.
And, like, I press 5 and then they're like, oh, me too. And they press 5.
Oh, fuck them. At that point, that's just stupidity.
Right now, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
really.
I can't stand it.
That's really funny because I never would have thought about that. But yeah, if somebody were
Can't stand
to
it.
were to press it, it's like
And I feel stupid for getting angry at that because they're not doing anything wrong technically.
No.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
being
they are.
idiots.
They are
Yeah.
because I don't like it. But
Yeah.
like,
that's kind of a thing.
it's just
Oh my god, why would see? Okay, I get the outside button
I
sometimes,
guess.
but like the inside button,
Right.
it's just dumb.
Yeah, it's really annoying. It's also you'll see on TV people like pressing buttons repeatedly, and
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
trying to make it go faster. Like, come on! It's like
Yeah, like before the monster gets in, close,
Right.
close, close.
Or when
Sure,
people
it's like-
like let their child just play with the buttons.
oh, that's
Shoot me.
Please don't.
Which brings me to my peeve.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Sexual parenting.
Oh,
we gonna talk about-
we could spend a whole episode.
yeah. I was
on
gonna
this.
say we don't have
okay.
enough time for this.
It's story time.
There's so Taylor and I went out to dinner last night to a nicer restaurant and to Benihana, and
Ooh.
that's I mean, if those who aren't familiar, it's a restaurant where you sit at a table of 8. Mm-hmm. If you're a party of 2, you sit with a party of 6.
Right.
And if The Office is to be believed, it's Asian Hooters. Not my words. Not my words. Hands in the air, not my words.
Michael Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, Jim, we're going to Asian Hooters.
Nice. Okay.
We sat with 2 sets of parents and their
Respective children.
So one child each.
One child
Yes.
each.
Wow.
One a
Okay.
boy, one a girl. It was just like the happenstance of it was sort of bizarre, just to sort
I
of.
couldn't tell if they were
to
a
look at.
family or friends.
No,
or-
I got the impression that the kids
they were
either
close.
met in this grade or the grade
Yeah.
before,
They
and
seemed
the
pretty
parents became friends through their kids.
Sure.
So there's a lot of making an effort,
Yes.
Yeah.
feel.
Ugh.
But this.
Why would you go to Benny on your like preschooler's
Right.
date? How old were
Right.
these kids?
I want to say 6, 7.
I'm really bad at this. They're
So first
younger
grade.
than 10, certainly
Yeah.
younger than 10.
Yeah.
But older than 5
Yeah.
in that gap.
Oh my god.
Well-
why?
Well,
Why?
that's it. They looked like they were very upper middle class or very low white collar.
Hate them already? Yes, go on.
Which I don't mean to be classist, but that's
No.
it. You already know the tone that they're bringing, and I hate to say it, but it was exactly that.
yeah, and it was disappointing to find that like your unintentional expectations were met immediately. Like
Yeah.
you just second
Oh
they
my
started
gosh.
talking.
You could be
So-
more than this.
The table is kind of a horseshoe shape.
Oh, yeah.
Where 2 people are on the ends, and
And you guys were right in the middle. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I wish.
no, we were on one of the ends.
One kid on
Thank
each
God.
side.
And there was a set of parents on the other end, but both kids were right next to you.
Yeah, they
and that
were.
little shit of a kid, this boy, kept like encroaching
me.
on
my
your
God.
space. But it wasn't like, I'm sorry, or like just oblivious
Just
kid.
like-
It was intentional.
Yeah.
This kid knew and was taking space.
Like he drank his cup with his left hand, I with my right, so it's like constant.
You're
just
constantly hitting each other.
back hands touching, and like your hand's sticky. Like, stop.
Yeah, a handful of
Oh.
whatever.
Well,
Gross.
there was an incident with the mother directly across from us. The waiter had come up, who he started serving the whole table with like that general sort of
Appetizers.
feigned enjoyment to be there.
Right. Because
But if you're polite to this, like it
Right.
could genuinely be,
Yeah.
hey, I'm back at the table that I enjoy actually
Yeah.
being at because you guys
Yeah.
are okay.
Right.
default, default
Right.
waiter mood.
Yeah. So not unpleasant.
Cool.
She's the first person to order. He comes up to her. Did the spiel like, all right, we've already got your drinks,
Yep.
and
Yep.
okay, I'm gonna take your orders now, ma'am. What would you like to have? And the waiter is trying to get the order, and her son is talking to her across the table
Yeah.
and the grill, which is in the middle,
Something that's not important at all to the moment.
just like being an annoying little shit.
Sure.
child
Which,
blabber.
by the way, disclaimer: I like children.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
I
kids.
don't most
Children's-
of the time.
I do. I don't like kids when I know their behavior is a direct result of how they're
Yeah.
parented.
It's just
Because I can
like-
tell when a kid is just being a shit and like, all right, kid, like,
Like,
doing
if you're-
specific-
give your
Yeah.
parents a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
You
when
feel
you
bad
can
for the
tell,
parents.
when you can tell, like, this is an acceptable behavior, it's like, well, I'm just done. I give up.
Right.
Right.
So she's. Did she even engage the waiter at all?
No eye
So-
contact, nothing.
So the waiter's talking. Hi, ma'am. Can I take your order? And her kid is talking to her across the table. And instead of taking her finger and going that sort of like
One second,
motion
yeah.
and talking to the waiter, she takes her other hand, does that to the waiter,
Doesn't look
and
at him.
continues talking to her son.
Eye contact with the son was
For
never
how long?
broken.
This was a good
It was long
10
enough,
seconds.
long enough where it's like this is
It was
getting
uncomfortable.
That he could have like started at the other end of the table.
Yes.
Like
This hurts.
He didn't really know what to do. He's just like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Just oof.
I mean, there was that. I could go. There were other instances over
Right.
dinner. That I mean, I could get, but I
just,
think
like,
that exemplifies perfectly
the way people treat waitstaff
like
sometimes.
wait stuff. But like my peeve is
It's the parent.
parents.
Yeah,
Like
parenting, right? Yeah.
if you treat your kids like that, spoil them, A. But then also treat other people in society like that. They're going to see that and say,
And say that's okay.
That's
Right, yeah.
Not only is that acceptable behavior,
That's the right behavior.
that is the right behavior.
Yeah.
That is how these people just being wait staff,
Yeah.
or people that are there in service of you because it's their job, not because
Right.
they are subservient to you.
Yeah.
They're-
But the attitude then becomes, oh, they are to wait on me. This is their place.
Me
Right.
and only me.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's treat people with respect.
Yeah, especially around impressionable children that need to learn the way of the world.
And this idea that, oh, well, my kid understands. Or my kid will understand when they grow up. Or I'm raising...
That's farming out parenthood
Right.
to other people to
Right.
teach them these things.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Yep.
Mention what the kid said to the mom, why he wanted to go home.
This kid who had been on his phone the entire time at dinner.
At 6
Well,
years
in
old.
his
Yeah.
defense,
Yeah.
there were many a time where I looked across at the kids and they were just genuinely talking to each other, having
Yeah,
fun.
and having a good time on their phones.
But
it was
they still
through
had-
it
yeah.
was through the technology.
At
It
least
wasn't
they
they
were-
were engaging completely on their own.
I honestly
Right.
don't care because my 6-year-old will never have a piece of
Yeah.
technology
Oh,
in
no,
their
no,
hand.
no.
And it's they're not at the age yet where they have become
Well, they need it.
relying on a
Right.
phone. Because I would see that if they were like 15 or whatever. It's like, oh, good, they're connecting through technology.
Right.
But instead, they're young enough to not need
Yeah.
technology.
Because they're not going to be out on their own
I,
somewhere. They
I,
need
I
to-
remember at
yeah.
one point the kid talking to the
Yeah.
girl and saying, "Oh, do you have this app? It's a really cool game." "Oh, no, I don't like that." "Oh, you should get it. You should download it." "Well, it says it's like 99 cents." "Oh, yeah, well, just click."
Oh,
And then I saw the other mom lean over to her daughter and go, "Did you just buy that app?" "Yeah." "Well, what is it?" "Oh, it's this app." "Oh, okay, that's fine."
okay.
That's,
This kid
again,
just purchased something
With
randomly.
yeah,
Right.
it's only
Anyway,
99 cents, but
but
Kids-
getting to the point of this part
Oh
of
my god.
so they're engaging mainly with their phones, and when they are engaging with each other, it's through the technology
Right.
and through.
frustrating.
All right, there's connection going on, but it's still through the technology. Whatever. Okay,
fine.
whatever.
We can look past that.
Okay,
can't.
they're in a restaurant. They're not like on a playground. Okay, I get it. There
Yeah.
were times where I was bored as a kid, and
Sure.
like whatever.
If you had a distraction, I mean, whatever.
You take
Right.
it.
He goes so where our table was set. There's that horseshoe, right? And there's the grill in the middle, and there's a walkway behind the grill. And just happened to where our table was placed in the restaurant, there was another table facing the opposite direction. So there's a little walkway for.
So between the two chefs.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right there.
Yes.
Okay.
And this was while a chef was finishing up later on in the meal. Two chefs, so there's two.
Two.
Comes around, goes behind them. So there's hot stuff, knives,
Yeah, then
like
they're
it's
flinging and whatever.
Yeah.
right. And the mom goes, "No, honey, go around. No, honey, go around." And the kid just stops and goes, "What?" And she's like, "Well, just come here. You're already." Which I get.
Yeah.
All right,
Potential
fine,
loss.
fine. All right, come here. And
You're kind of panicking at that point.
Yeah, at that point
he
you're just
throws, not hard, but kind of like tosses his phone in his mom's lap.
God, I would have.
This is like this is like a new iPhone.
Sure.
Just tosses
Made to break.
this piece of expensive
By the time this comes out in iPhone
technology
20, sure.
into his mom's lap and says, "My phone died. Can we go home?" As if his parents revolved around like it. This pisses me off. I'm literally at a loss for words.
Yeah.
Connor,
It
you
was
said
as if this had happened before, not necessarily like this Benihana situation, but like they've been out, and he goes, "Oh, my phone died. I want to charge it. Can we go home? I'm bored." "All right, yeah, all right." Like that was the impression, but she like, "No, honey, we're still going to be here." But why? I'm bored. But why I'm bored?
But why? I'm bored, so we should go.
I mean, that's normal for a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
They do
Right.
think that the world revolves around, but it's your job
But
to...
like, there was no on this mother. There was no honey, we are here at dinner. I am sorry your phone lost its
life
charge.
sucks sometimes.
But hey, you're here with your friend. Just continue hanging out with your friend.
Right.
It was. It's like, all right, look here. Hands him her phone.
No.
And he goes. By the way, goes back around through the chefs.
Yep.
So
there was tons of stuff.
It doesn't. And he ended up sort of hitting me in the back of the head.
Oh, me
on
too.
accident.
Yeah, he could have talked to his friend. He could have touched me more with his sticky fingers. I don't care. He had so much entertainment at his disposal. And
you couldn't hear this, but when you said that my phone died, I want to go home, my face dropped.
Yeah.
That didn't translate over audio, but that's how horrifying
I heard
was.
it. I heard it just crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So my peeve
Yeah.
is affluent parents creating. Affluent
Affluent
Well, I mean,
children,
look,
yeah.
they're going to be affluent because,
Well, yeah.
affluent parents creating children who have no regard or respect for others, and no respect, honestly, for just being a person themselves. This kid is going to grow up and be a shell of a human being who only knows wants and dislikes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
yeah.
And if
no emotional
said
Need,
person
need,
can't...
want, get away, get away, get away.
Yeah.
May I add one final thing to this string of poor parenting? I was in the bathroom before we.
Oh, I forgot about this.
This is just rude. I was in the bathroom before we sat at the table, and I was exiting the stall to wash my hands, and one of the moms and the girl were standing at the sink, not doing anything, just looking at themselves in the mirror.
How fucking vain.
They're so vain. At first it broke my heart to see that this mom is raising this girl to be, as vain as she is.
Yeah.
And the little girl's like, "Oh, my hair's so frizzy," and the mom's like, "No, it's not." And she sees me walking by and goes, "Like hers."
I would have been like, bitch, your child is so ugly.
By the way, her hair was perfect.
Thank you. You're perfect.
I'm sick again.
Anyway, the mom. My hair is really frizzy, by the way, but
It's curly.
that's
It's not
beside the point.
frizzy.
It was frizzy, but you don't point that out. Okay.
Okay, our Kaufman just left. He just
back,
literally walked
okay.
out the front door. Oh, he's back.
We gotta leash him up now.
Okay.
Yep.
But it was.
Don't let him escape again.
I don't mind getting a shitty comment from a child because that's what they do.
They just
Yeah,
don't know each other.
children have no.
Instead of taking the apologetic parent stance that parents take when their kids say something they
When they're
should not
sh-
say,
yeah, when
like,
they're-
"Oh, I'm so sorry, you're great." She just like, "No,
Like hers.
don't say that, honey. Don't say that.
Yeah, because the idea is, don't say that.
It's wrong.
That's
It's rude."
don't say that. That's the wrong thing to say. Instead of, honey, don't say that. I am sorry.
Right.
So the difference being that is the wrong thing to say to another person versus that's the wrong thing to say, and you shouldn't think that of other people. Have more respect for others.
Right.
Right.
These are very different.
Yeah.
Right. Just wanted to share.
I don't know. Maybe if you didn't have such frizzy hair all the time,
My fault.
kids would.
I'll just shave my head.
Yeah. All right.
I'll just
It's
have
really the
these.
only thing to do in this situation.
Lord above, no.
Sounds just
you
like
do what you
Yep.
want. I love
Right?
you.
Okay.
Nah.
I think I want to shave my head.
Okay.
You make your own decisions.
It will
Anyway.
grow back, right?
I don't know. Maybe not.
It never goes back the same.
No.
Well, Nair is pretty useful.
Anyway. Moving on.
The fact that you know what an air is cracks me up.
Yeah. All right. What's annoying you?
Well, besides people just literally handing
people.
technology to young children,
Yeah.
that's a huge peeve that I can
Makes
say
me
for another.
irrationally angry,
Yeah.
or is it irrational?
Irrationally angry.
My peeve of the week is the way my mom gasps.
What?
Yes.
Okay, I was joking, and that hurt a little bit.
Like, literally... Okay, so I'll tell the
Still
story.
recovering.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You're like inhaling your own spit when you do that. I'm coughing for you.
So, we're putting up Christmas trees at my house. I know it's early. You don't have to tell me. So my mom's like, is sitting in our living room. The front door's right there. We have 2 dogs. So she let one of the dogs out, and she's putting the stuff on this little tree that doesn't have any breakable ornaments, that the tree is not fragile in any way. and then lets the dog back in, and the dog runs by the tree, and her tail hits it, and the tree starts, it's not even a big tree, it's like 3 foot. And the tree starts to fall over, and my back is to my mom, I didn't see it, all I hear is, oh my god, and she like yells the dog's name, and I literally,
the dog's gonna be like, oh,
if
sorry.
it's a 3 foot tree, it's gonna tip a little bit,
boom.
and it's gonna go.
But my back was to her, so I did. My heart, your heart just immediately is like in your ears, and you're just like, what did the dog bring in the house? Is the dog bleeding? Is it missing a leg? Like, you have no idea what happened. I turn around, I see that she was just like reaching for the tree. I was like, oh my god, I hate you.
The tree is now slightly closer to the ground.
Yeah.
Your mom is just...
But she does this like all the.
You were telling me she does this when
time.
she's watching TV.
Yeah, when
sometimes.
she's watching, like, because my family's really into racing, so like she'll be watching racing, and someone gets into an accident. Oh, that happens.
Right, it's like that's
But
kind of
she
a
literally
conceit
is
of
like,
the game.
she's always like, oh my god. Like,
Does she do that when, like, you're driving with her?
no, she only does it to
Oh,
things
thank
that
God.
don't
If she
matter.
did in the car.
And it's like, I'm not a
I would
reckless
crash.
driver, but
No, like that would make me slam on my brakes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but, and then I have to recover. Like, I literally looked at my dad, I'm like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Because it's that immediate, like, adrenaline, like, oh my god, what do I have
It's
to
like
do?
immediate sense of danger.
it's that,
Something's
like,
going
that
on.
guttural sound
Yeah.
like humans only make when they're in danger.
Yeah, like when a baby drops, like when your brother almost dropped that baby.
Out of context, that's hilarious. That's not really a story. He was holding this child, and it started, and it full on was in the air.
Literally did a somersault in the air, and he caught it.
Because he was holding it. I think it was 2 arms, but maybe it was mostly one.
Yeah, it was
and the
mostly
other hand
one,
was
and
kind
then
of there.
literal turn catch
And then
with the
another
other
baby.
arm.
It's not an immovable thing. It's
And it
not
was
an
over a
inanimate
coffee
object.
table, what scared me the most.
And so
only
it started to
funny
fall,
because
and he did catch it immediately. So,
But I literally was going to vomit then,
literally everybody in the room like jumped up, was reaching over, was like, huh? And if there had been a picture taken, it would have just been like,
Jesus.
yeah, it seriously would have been like
He's
one of those.
floating, he's flying.
It would have been one of those pictures of like Jesus doing a stance, and then like all the
magic.
beggars trying to touch him.
Oh, he's just levitating.
Yeah, and the baby's in the air, and everyone's like,
I wish that would have happened.
Doing a triple axel.
Yeah.
what's Wingardium Leviosa on this baby and everything. So
I
yeah.
love the dramatic mom gasp.
that's really funny.
I just, like, could kill her, because I literally was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Yeah. All right, so
What's your peeve?
well, my peeve is pretty topical. It's mostly just about the delusions that people will go through to justify their beliefs, and so this podcast has gone up in a time where we have decided who our president was going to be, and that made some people very happy, and it made other people, like myself, very angry. And so some people, like myself, in their anger, have taken to Facebook to just post about their anger, mostly just rant. And the vindication that the people that are happy about this election have expressed is sickening to me. And they have this idea that now everything will be okay, and that everybody should feel okay now. And there's just something infuriating about the way that it's like in Star Wars Episode 3, where they
Okay,
where
I'm following you.
Yeah, where the Emperor declares himself as the Emperor, and everyone's like, "Oh no, now we have to live in this world," and people are like, "We finally have an Emperor that will take over the world and try to kill everybody. It's about time that we have that." And so just the things that people have been posting about, like, here's what we should be focusing on in this new presidential era,
Right.
is like, that is only a small part of a larger whole that you are explicitly not seeing because it fits your worldview.
Yeah.
And even before the election, because we haven't done a podcast in a while, but they're
At least recorded.
Right. And so there have been a lot of things that happened even before the election happened in politics that people are just like, that's okay because blah blah blah. The things that this particular candidate had said or done in the public eye, that people are like, this is a horrible thing, but other people are saying, no, it's not, because everybody talks like that, or because everybody feels that way, or oh, he's just, it's just locker room talk or whatever, and people are like,
that makes me the most mad.
yeah, it's unimportant because that's not what we need to focus on here. What we need to focus on is the policies, which are kind of messed up in themselves anyway. But aside from that, you can't overlook these things. You can't pick and choose qualities of your leaders. They express everything that they are. And the idea that people can just push these things aside because it's not as important as other things, and just the way people have to warp the way the world works in their minds.
Well, Alex, it's just hard for and I believe everything that you say.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% behind you, but it is hard because, like normal everyday people, we do have to forgive some of the shortcomings that other people have.
Exactly.
Like, you have flaws, I have flaws, but every day we choose to either look past those flaws or accept them for who they are.
Right.
So I feel that's what those people are going through.
I'm with you. And in most cases, that's what I would write this off as. It's, okay, yes, we do have to forgive a little bit because nobody's perfect. But in specific circumstances,
I completely agree with you.
the balance is just shifted astronomically. It's like, you can only forgive so much before you start to go like, oh, this is just a rotten person. It's like...
or a rotten person who holds ideals.
Yeah. And one thing that, Connor, you said after the election, I think, and we were just, both of us were just venting and being like, this is a horrible thing, what can we do? And you were saying, what we have to remember is that not everyone who decided in this way is a racist, is a misogynist, is a bigot, is a pig. But he is, and they knew that.
Yeah, that's what's hard to swallow.
It's like they're willing to excuse those factors.
Right.
And it's like, those are kind of factors.
Those are, big.
And that's, to me, that is just as, if not more, of a fault on those people.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's...
yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm stumbling... I'm stumbling to...
I was going to suggest maybe, but I lost it too. But kind of like just what you as an individual are willing to excuse as like a forgivable factor in someone else is kind of like reflection on what you value.
It's just a brainwash.
So
and it's just become so normal. We've been desensitized to that type of stuff.
And I just want to point out, and I think maybe this is the last thought we have on this.
Right. I don't want to linger too long on this.
But one final thought. We are four very lucky individuals to be brought up by white middle-class families.
Yeah.
And we truly have nothing to fear for ourselves. And there are people tonight that are crying themselves to sleep because they don't know tomorrow if they're going to be attacked.
We can walk out in public tomorrow.
You could say that. But but the person sitting across from me, we do have something.
Yes, but it's not as severe as being attacked for being a woman.
But we do.
But there's
and
also,
I'm not saying
there's a few rights that could be altered at this point. But I mostly focusing on individual safety for the time being. Yeah. I feel okay walking outside tomorrow.
Right.
I know people who don't, and it's
but
yes, I mean, we do also get
it's the one that means the most to me.
Yeah.
Right, because that's the one.
Is the one that could affect me. It's just, but every woman could go through it. It's just hard.
It's less of an immediate and physical.
Yeah.
But I know I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, I know.
Female. So.
Yeah. It's just so.
I get it.
To me.
I understand.
And I'm a person who is not heterosexual, but gives off the appearance of heterosexuality because I'm in a heterosexual relationship, and so I'm incredibly lucky to not have to deal with certain problems that people...
Because you don't look gay, which,
Right.
sorry, but that's kind of what people
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
after.
Gay or bisexual
Right.
or trans
Right.
or
Right.
transitioning or...
So there are people in my community that I identify with, that I feel for because they are essentially me, that are going to have to go through some very awful, horrible things, and I have to watch this happen.
Yeah,
Through like a
that's
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
and I'm safe,
That's
but
what I'm.
I'm safe, but other people won't be, and it's very hard to get over.
Right.
So we're not going to, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
We're not anytime soon going to get over that.
Seems like a good note to
Yeah.
Right, so
continue
we are
on to
going
a
to
different-
move on to happier topics
Hooray!
because we didn't want to talk about this, but...
Did we all get through Peeves?
I believe
Yep,
so.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's ask some questions. If we can have like a funny spin on them, that'd be nice. I had a question.
Okay.
And I will tell you what it is. Do you guys want to vamp for a second and talk about something?
No, go ahead.
All right, is there like a word or a phrase or something that people will say that immediately makes your mind think something else?
We had one of these
do
this
this?
week.
And
Yeah.
and
this already.
No, this is like a. Go ahead.
Okay, go.
and this will be a thing that maybe is very, very specific and inside to you, but something else is popular, and so people will talk about this popular thing, and it makes you think, oh, hey, this. But you can't ever like say it or do it or give it, and it can be very specific. For example, mine is there's a YouTube series, Crash Course, that Connor and Jordan is a regular on this podcast. He's our one-time guest. Have talked about Crash Course, and I've only recently started watching it, but until yesterday, I think it was, every time somebody would bring up Crash Course, there's this one podcast that I used to listen to that's over now called Crash Course in Awesome. And it's a very funny podcast. I encourage everyone to go listen to it because it's amazing. And it's over now. They only had like a limited run of episodes, but a long run. And I listen to all of them. And every single time somebody says Crash Course, I always assume that they're talking about that because I'd never seen...
So when someone's like, I need a crash course in...
Right, I'm like,
blah,
Crash
blah.
Course in Awesome? I'm sure there's an episode about that. So it's always really weird to me whenever someone brings it up.
I totally thought you were going to bring up the conversation that we had about the phrase...
I can't help you. I don't know.
It's that, that's... You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah.
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 Because when... I think normally when people say, oh, you have your work cut out for you, means like, that's going to be a long haul and good luck to you. And Alex takes it as, oh, it's so easy because I already have my work cut out for me.
Because I've heard people use the phrase, you have your work cut out for you, in the context of things will be easy now. It's like...
Never
Exactly,
in my
right?
life heard that.
Right?
That's what I thought it meant too. Like,
Oh my
hey,
God.
You're like a cookie
What?
representation of who can.
Thank you. See, I'm not
my
crazy.
God.
I'm not
Oh my
crazy
God.
because...
My mind
Hey,
is
honey,
just
honey,
blown.
how do you say the word sparse?
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
This is
I
not
say
fair.
it like shut up. That's how I say it. Like you.
You don't say it like
Stop.
scarce?
No,
So
I don't.
sparse?
I don't say that
Sparsely?
at all. I've never said it. You said it like 5 times. I think it's your problem.
Connor, I don't think she appreciates this attack.
I just love that there's someone else that thinks that way because
I thought-
Me too.
I have
Me too.
never,
I thought, yeah.
I have never had
So-
anybody have that problem.
Yeah, so I've gone 22 years, whatever, 9 months, 11 days, however long,
Yeah.
with the assumption that this phrase, work cut out, not the assumption, but knowing, because I knew for a fact that that's what this phrase meant. It's a phrase that everybody uses. I've heard it so many times. It's like, oh, it'll be easy. Have your work cut out for you because we've already done all the hard stuff.
What?
Not at all,
That's-
right?
What?
No, I thought it was more like you were made for this kind of work.
Right.
You were the cookie cutter representation.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, sure.
No.
That's
Any
what
of that
it
makes
sounds
sense.
like.
Isn't that crazy
It makes
how the
sense.
human language can be interpreted
because-
so many different ways?
It's all like, I mean, maybe not exactly linguistics, but like it's just all about like phrases that people make up.
Right.
So like because of an
Right.
opinion or a thought they had, and then
Or-
people adapt it.
Or like your work, you have to do all this work, but it's all light up neat in front of you, like it's cut out for you, so it's easy, it's all there. But
See, I take it as just like, Yeah, seems like you got a good handle on it, but good fucking luck to you.
Good luck. You have
Yeah,
your
work cut out for you.
All right.
No,
Which
Here it is, this big load of shit.
I don't make that connection.
And
though.
you
and
guys
you get to
saying
sift through it.
this sounds like a foreign language to me. You guys saying it
too.
in this context, it just does the
always
association just is not there.
I would say it was a positive thing.
Right, exactly. I looked.
From two of our, like, you two are definitely the most positive of the four of us.
Well,
maybe.
I highly doubt that.
No, but I truly,
Okay.
I looked it up, and apparently it goes back to tailors in their suits, because cutting the cloth is the easiest part of the job, but then stitching the clothes together and getting it is all the harder part. So you have your work cut out for you.
like
means
I did this.
The easy part's done.
Wow.
Now it's for the hard part.
Like, he challenged me on it.
Yeah, because I thought you were wrong. I still think that you're wrong. I think all of you are
fuck
wrong.
no.
I think we
fucking
can
look
say
it up.
it to each other.
Yeah, from now on it'll be our own thing. It's like, oh, we have our work cut out for
I got
each
a
other.
paper to write. I have your work cut out for you.
It doesn't even need to make sense. I'll just
No.
say it to you. No.
Right. It's like,
And
hey, do
Connor
you,
and I will say it to each other and be like, oh my god.
like,
do you have
hey,
your work
after this, do you guys want to watch Fellowship of the Ring? Oh,
got your work
we've
cut
got
out
our
for
work
you.
cut out for us.
Oh god.
This is great. I love it.
See, you say that, and that means like, oh, like that's gonna
Like,
be a
it's-
chore for
it's
you to
gonna be-
watch that.
insane.
It's gonna be hard
That's
because
insane.
yeah. Oh my
To me,
gosh.
it's like, wow, you seem like the perfect person to do this job, right?
Great, yeah. It's like, I'm the perfect person to watch Fellowship of the
Okay,
Ring.
so that's
not what they've meant.
So that's my answer. Is how someone could think that about you have your work cut out for you.
What?
Do you-
Hold on. How?
Like that, you answered yours about Crash Course. I answered you have your work cut out for you.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I don't really have something that at least I don't think.
You can interpret the question
you
anyway.
You never
but,
know. until
however, something along those lines, and maybe this is too much of a variant on that.
Okay.
But we were at a Halloween party recently, and someone who had graduated from our department was in the area and was invited to the same party. And we were in the kitchen.
Do I know this person?
No, you don't.
Okay.
And we were in the kitchen, and we were just talking about something from the past. This person was in that department, had not graduated yet during the time of the story. Mm-hmm. And I said something that was very inside to a specific group of people, a cast of a show, a cast and crew of a
Like an
specific
inside
show.
joke that...
Right. And I said, person A was like this because of XYZ at the time.
Oh.
And this person goes, oh yeah, I know about that. And in my head I'm like, you literally don't.
Yeah.
I know for a fact you don't, and
Yeah.
you're just saying you do, so everyone else thinks you're contributing to the, like...
Or
Yeah.
to feel involved.
to feel
It's
involved.
like the inside jokes that other people laugh at, and you're like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that is funny. Like, I'm a part of that too. No,
you're not.
At the same time, though, like, it does kind of suck when, like, you're that person and there's, like, 6
Yeah.
other people and
And
they
you're
also
just
have, like, a moment they share and you're
Right.
like, hi.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, that's when you're on. That's when you
Yeah.
just like
You just let it
you,
pass.
You face the moment with honesty.
Yeah, you
and
either-
and you
you-
go,
yeah.
oh, you know what? I don't remember that. Tell
wasn't
me
there.
about that. Engage me about that, so I can
Right.
further
Don't
be
be like-
involved in
Yeah.
the
It's
conversation.
like you can be involved without knowing what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
You put yourself in there. Yeah.
So I don't know if that was like a completely
No, that's fine. That's really funny, though.
separate thing from what you were talking about. But anyway, that's what I thought of when you asked the question.
That's really funny because, hold on. I've had conversations where I'll have a joke that I want to make or something I want to say that other people will act like they know where I'm going.
I do that a lot.
You do, because it happened on this podcast when we
Yeah.
were doing our Halloween episode. Somebody brought up the story about like the clown doll and the parents were like, you have to get out of the
Me.
house.
That was me.
Oh, you. And I was...
Thanks for remembering. God.
Whatever. And so I was saying, I remember that story, and I remember using that as an idea for like execution versus what's actually happening, because the way that story is told is much scarier than the actual story. And as I was saying that, I was like, oh, I remember thinking about that or using that or whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, I remember. And I was like,
And you're like, really? Because
I was
you
like,
don't.
this is just in my brain. What do you remember? What are you talking? And I was immediately
I
like,
was there.
I don't. Yeah.
As well, I'm a little clairvoyant. So yeah.
Right, and I immediately want to do the thing where it's like you don't want to press it because you don't want to sound like you're going like,
No, you
no,
don't.
everybody
Yeah.
stop. What are you talking? You don't want to do that because that's just like a rude thing. But at the same time, you're like, I've never been more curious about anything in my life, but I have to move on from this.
Right, and that was how I felt when this person was acting that way, I wanted to be very politely,
Be like,
kind of in a joking way, be like, "Oh, really? I don't remember you knowing her this person A at all."
right.
But there's no
Awkward silence.
Yeah,
like,
there's no.
yeah,
And you
right,
would
no
look
nice way
like
to
an
say that.
asshole. And everybody,
right, and then I'd look like an
Right.
asshole,
Yeah.
Right.
and I that's not, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, that's
Because that shit bothers me. When, like, I don't know, it just because a lot of stuff bothers me in the world because I actively don't do those things
Right.
because
Yeah.
I wouldn't want others to do it at all.
there was this.
But then, of course, people are people and they're going to do what they want, and I irrationally get upset
Right.
that they behave in a way that I don't simply because I choose
How
not
dare
to.
you?
There was this article on Cracked a while ago, and I usually agree with what they talk about, but there was this one thing that somebody had written that I was like, I completely disagree. And it was, somebody said, the things that you are annoyed with in people or the things that you don't like about people are usually aspects of yourself that you don't like that you're seeing expressed.
Sure.
And I'm like,
I don't think
in
so.
some
I
ways,
don't-
but not.
I
but not
think in
always.
some, but not
It's
And
not
I-
like
not,
Right.
not like a blanket.
No, because most of the time it's because you choose not.
Right.
you deliberately, you
choose-
expressly
yeah.
see other people do that thing, and you're like,
You
I'm
don't
not
like it.
going to be like that. But I think there might be something if you like reverse engineer that, where it's like I'm insecure about something and somebody else is expressing
Like,
that,
I don't,
then I'm
yeah,
annoyed.
I don't want to be that way. I fear that I will be that way, so I am not going
Get
to.
it.
I feel that's very, very Freudian. And
It is. It completely is.
I wonder how legitimate that is.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I can see it that working, but I can also see that totally not working.
Yeah, I
So
guess it's a case by case basis.
Yeah.
I guess it's just most things in life, something
Yeah.
that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like it's an occasional thing.
Right.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
very infuriating.
Do you have?
Can you remind me? I forgot what. I don't
Me too.
understand the
Yeah.
question.
When you hear a certain phrase,
Right, and it
it
makes you think of something else, but
that
nobody else would
Yeah.
make the
Wow.
connection.
I'm sure there's like so many, and I'll think of all of them at once when
Yeah.
I go to bed tonight.
We had a sorry,
Oh, no, I'm
brief
thinking.
tangent. We had a question that was what's something everybody else likes that you don't. No, what's something everybody else doesn't like that you do. And this was
that was a long time ago.
right. This was the New 52 DC
Yeah.
Comics whole thing. And
Prequels.
right, and every single day since then, I've thought of a new thing that's like,
Yeah.
I can't believe everybody hates this. It's awesome. Oh, I could have talked about that, and I've been wanting to bring it up and be like, hey, we had this segment. Let's re-talk about that. But I always forget about them. So
Yep.
I can't think of anything right now, but if I do,
Do before the end of the show. Bring it up.
I'll mention it.
well, how about this? What's something everybody else hates that you
Oh
like?
my god. I don't
See,
know.
I know it's so hard to think of.
All right.
That's
Oh,
why you gotta
right on
write-
the
yeah.
spot. I'll think of something to say at some point, I promise.
Awesome. So who
Let's move
wants
on
to
to
ask another question?
Next question.
I can.
Okay, cool. I was
Really,
going to say you're next anyway. I just wanted to see what Connor would do. Deer in the
he just
headlights.
looked at me instead.
Yeah.
When I found out that we might be having like couple peeves and cues tonight, I was like, ooh, we gotta ask like a really good like couple question because
Oh,
it
yeah.
Yikes.
yeah.
Yikes.
So it's
Where
it's,
do you
it's calm.
get
No,
off?
it's calm. My question is, oh crap! I just had it.
Oh no.
It's how to word it. How when other people how do other people react when they meet your significant other?
What?
Okay.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
you know, they know you, and all of a sudden they're meeting your significant other, and then
Oh,
and then your significant other leaves, and they say,
Do they change their behavior?
So-
no, like, do they say, oh, they are da da da?
So are you
they
asking?
are da da da?
So are you asking specific, like
Like
if,
how-
is it like if I were to answer, how do they react when they meet or know about Taylor
Yeah.
Yes.
or know about
No.
just in general people that I
Right.
have
No.
dated?
Well,
It's like your friends and family, and you're hanging out with them, and you're just like, "Hey, we're just here." But then
then
Taylor
they
comes
leave.
over, and then
Yeah.
Taylor leaves,
Oh, okay.
and everyone's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
Taylor is
bad.
like
yeah.
this."
So
Okay.
She's so horrible.
I just want to make sure I answered
yeah,
the question.
Yeah,
Go
mine
mother.
is like, well, Alex and I have been dating for almost 5 years now, but them like friends, friends meeting Alex is different than family meeting.
Right.
Right.
Alex.
Because when a family meets a significant other, it's judgmental, and it's like,
It's like, is this it seriously is like, is this person
Dinner
good
with my
enough
parents
for our
Talk
person?
about that.
But like friends meeting
I
Alex
know.
are always like, oh my gosh, he's really tall. Like, that's always the first thing.
Okay.
He's really tall.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that hair. He's really quiet. But when he does speak, it's fucking hilarious. Like, that's what I always hear. It's always, and that's the order, too. Oh my gosh, he's tall. Look at that hair. He's really quiet, but he's really funny.
I like that because it makes me feel like Oz, Seth Green from Buffy. I think Oz was his name. Because he was very stoic, but he was always like, when he did talk, it was like,
On.
It was like, that's the funniest line in the show every single time. And so it's cool when I get to...
And now it's like that with my family, because you don't talk a lot around them, but when you do, it's golden and everyone sucks it up like a sponge.
That's right. I got him played like a fiddle.
He really does. So that's what mine is. It's always da 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 da. That's always what I hear.
That's really funny.
So Taylor and I have, I mean, what is this, like 3 months? Just over 3 months?
Just over 3 months.
Just over
yeah.
3 months.
Good run.
Yeah. It's been pretty good so far.
It's the funnest part.
Nice when
I
it's
think-
lasted.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. High five.
Think you got another thing else in you?
But we've known each other
Oh, yeah, but we've known each other. We've been friends for, including that time,
about a year and a half-ish.
year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
Ish.
At max 2 years.
Yeah, max 2 years. But she hasn't met all of my family yet because a chunk of my family lives out of state, and
Yeah.
they plan to meet her,
Yay.
you,
Neat.
over Thanksgiving.
Hooray.
When they're up. But I talk quite a bit about her to
Aw.
my family that's... So the family that's out of state is like my mom, my stepdad, and my two sisters, my two younger sisters. The family that is here, my grandparents, and I'm very close with my grandparents. And they love her.
Oh,
They
Yay.
think you're great.
that's
They
nice.
they think you're
Okay,
super.
blink twice if you're lying.
Yeah.
No,
watching
no.
it,
They
though, so
they
don't.
think you're. In fact, I'm trying to remember the conversation that I had with my grandmother the other day. She said that she really likes you, and B, that she likes how we interact together.
I remember you saying
Yeah,
that.
it was interesting how she worded it too. It wasn't like, "Oh, you guys are good together." It was very specific, and I enjoy watching you two be around each other because it seems. And this is what she said. It really shows that you enjoy being around each other. And I was just like, well, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But like, but like that's
okay.
the thing. Like, I don't think that always resonates and like for other people to see,
Right.
particularly family.
I think
yeah.
maybe it's just like a comfortability that
Yeah,
we have.
maybe too. Yeah, that
Like-
and I'm comfortable around my grandparents, but you're getting very comfortable, or at least
Yeah.
for you,
For me.
for you.
For my standards of
Right,
comfortability.
exactly.
Yeah.
Around my grandparents, so
Yeah,
and
I like them a lot.
they really like you.
Yay.
And my parents, from what I've told them over the phone, are really, really looking forward to meeting you.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Yeah.
So.
So-
will you do me a salad and get me my toothbrush because that was way too sweet for me? And
Oh God,
That was so sweet. I'm going
that
to
was
go into
really
diabetic
funny. I love
shock.
you. I love you so much.
Stop.
You're just
No.
I know this is like us now, but I'm still getting a little nauseous just thinking about it. So.
I wasn't trying to be sweet. I was just
Whatever,
like,
man.
it's-
That does not make
It's
it better.
perfect. You guys are at. You're right on track. Yeah.
I don't know.
See you in
Trying to
5 years.
But as far as like friends, there's really kind of been two, from what I've noticed. I don't know about you, but I've noticed two reactions because we essentially have the same circle of friends.
Exactly. That
Like,
must be
almost
really
the
hard.
exact-
Because
Yeah.
they
Like,
knew you before
if-
you started dating.
Yeah.
So.
Our collective friends are a Venn diagram. We, like the both section, the
it's,
middle
almost a
section.
it's one circle.
It's
Yeah.
the only people we've really interacted with.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe like
Like
but
yeah.
you
What
haven't
about
met any
Doopy?
of my friends
I haven't met any of your.
from high school, which both of them are great people.
All both.
You probably won't meet them, so it's okay.
Have you met Doopy yet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
making sure.
But of those people that we share, there's only been two kind of reactions.
Oh, you guys are dating? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are dating? Cool. Or saw that coming.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, that's normal.
yeah.
Like,
But it's
Being
not
in a
like.
group,
And
like-
thankfully, it's not like that rude. Like, yeah, saw that coming.
It was like
it's
this
like
works.
It's more like Wink.
Yeah,
Saw that coming.
we saw
Yeah, we had that a little bit
Yeah.
coming out of that show.
So, like, honestly, it's, I mean, from what I've seen, like, support, it's all been, it's only been positive and support, and kind of this, of course, you want to talk about...
My parents?
Yeah. You want to talk about that?
My face.
As in...
They're not going to listen to this.
I know. What if
Not
they're
unless I
listening
send
now?
it to them on Facebook.
Don't tempt fate.
They could be listening through the chip vein stuff in my neck. Yeah, that's not true.
It's all fun and games
Blink
until
twice
there's
if
one
you're
thing.
alive.
No, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I took it out. It's
Okay,
gone. It's
gotcha.
gone.
Jody Popcorn?
The spare chip is on the other side. My parents... Or my parents.
Uh-huh.
They birthed me.
Hope so.
Yeah. Well,
Do you want me to start
Dad,
and you
Please do.
I don't want to overstep because like
Don't
this
worry
is your
about it.
experience.
Don't
and
you worry about a thing.
her parents are her mom and her stepdad are
interesting people.
Associate them with helicopters.
What?
Oh, so hovering parents. Okay,
They're very
but
protective.
like and there's also a lot of judgment and a lot
Yeah.
of preconceived notions and a lot of
They're looking to find things that they can store for later and use.
Yeah.
and something
exhausting.
that really resonates with me like now that you've said it is this: it doesn't matter that you've met them now. Every time you see them will be the first time you've met them.
It's like as an actor when you hear the phrase everything's an audition.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's-
exhausting.
So we had dinner.
Yeah.
Like a really impromptu
Say what-
day of.
You're good.
Huh?
You can talk about whatever. You're
Yeah.
good. I just don't
Impromptu dinner on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And we.
Day. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel
A
so
bad day all around. Then.
That was
Yeah, that
a
was-
horrible day.
Yeah, that was something.
Is that? Oh, that's where you were the whole night.
Yeah, we were hanging out with my...
Yeah, and then we came back and.
Because I was waiting for you to get back so I could like hold you,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fall into your
Right.
arms. And be like, what's happening?
What's happening? Yeah, I was miserable.
Yeah,
in
sorry.
a different way.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
And that's the sad thing is like we had this dinner, and I don't know how much I want to get into that.
You can... There is no
I will
boundary
start off
I
by
have.
saying I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed meeting your mother
That makes
and
one
your
of us.
stepdad and your shell of a human that is your brother.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what he is, but
don't
he's
know what he
something.
is.
I kind of feel like you're
I
taking
know,
away from
I'm
the
like-
potential drama of the story by
I just
revealing
know
that it
all
was
these
fine.
all too well. But yes.
Which one was the emotional shell? Me, probably.
Probably.
No, it's different. It's very different, and I don't mean to.
Like, you can't read him. You don't... Like, is he a
Like,
person?
right,
Is he a robot? We don't know.
what was it? How did I phrase it when we got in the car? I was having a hard time reading if he was a human being.
Yeah, it's really hard. I don't know what he is.
I don't know what
How old
you
is he?
are.
We're twins.
Oh, okay.
So we're
okay.
both 20. It's...
Yikes.
That's just that you can be just
So
opposite.
Yeah.
this impromptu dinner started because your mom, she
She wanted to come to dinner with me, and I took it as an opportunity. Hey, we're in public. Things can't get too violent, so how about I ask Connor if he wants to come?
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good plan.
that's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I knew
that's
that,
perfect.
so
So,
I-
they
yeah.
Do I have to
they
call you
won't know how to
Kaufman?
hide the body in public.
Right?
Do I have to call you
right.
Kaufman?
No, you do not.
No,
Exclusively.
No, don't not ever, ever.
So I said to my mom, "This is Kaufman."
Please God,
Okay.
please God.
Buffin, what's your problem? What do you tell us
Stop.
about?
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Kaufman.
Anyway,
Please let me check.
anyway, go ahead.
No, you were talking.
I thought
I was
you
just
were,
joking. I'm just.
So asked her if she wanted to go
Yeah,
to dinner
yeah.
with her and your stepdad.
Yeah.
And your brother. Like anyway, it doesn't matter.
Because they were all coming from
Yeah.
voting, and yeah.
And you asked if I could come too, if and everything, and you had mentioned to your mom that you would be driving the two of us to dinner.
Yes.
Here's where I think you should take over.
Okay. So where we were going is south, or like just the opposite direction of where he lives. So I figured he could just meet me.
And campus,
Yeah, in campus. Meet
which
me
is
on
an
campus.
extra distance.
Right. So I figured he could meet me on campus, switch to my car. I could take him to meet my family, do the whole switcheroo back. It'd be great. Do him a favor, save him some gas, be a nice person.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. And I told my mom, so I'm planning on driving. And she says, perhaps have him drive. Like, those
this
are
is
her
all
words.
via text,
Yeah, via
by
text.
the way.
And I said, how come? And, like, I kind of knew, because I've been with my mom for 20
Right.
years, so I know
Yeah.
how she operates, but I wanted to be like, well, how come? And she said, well, Steve, my stepdad, Steve and I would think that, I guess we're traditional, but,
I guess
we're traditional. Should I mention the age comment? Should I? No.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious.
She
I
makes
have to know.
she makes a comment that's completely irrelevant to driving. She goes, "Steve and I are traditional, and I guess we're a little skeptical about the age difference, but we think that
I am
he should
20.
Oh,
I am
God.
25.
I'm 20.
She is 20. We have met at our college where we are peers
equal
and doing
students.
shows
Yeah.
and taking classes
And aside,
together.
What
from
does-
that,
what does
the
age have
age
to
doesn't
do
have to do with
with
driving.
driving?
So she says, perhaps, you should have him drive. It would look better in Steve's eyes if he drives you.
Oh, God.
So then I decide to be irresponsible and continue the argument, like, because I guess I'm just a son of a bitch. Daughter of a bitch, whatever. Oops, that was too far. But I said, well, I figured I'd do something nice, save him some gas, save him some driving.
Making this
So
about
he-
you and off of me,
so-
like you,
Right,
right.
And she, sorry.
So what if he would have drove, like, your car?
Nah,
Yeah, see,
that'd still
it's
be,
like-
that'd be
That yeah,
Drive my
that'd
car all the
be
time.
Yeah.
yeah.
They want him to make as many sacrifices as he
Yeah.
can for no reason. So I had said that, and she said, "Well, I think this would be a nice token in gentlemanliness or something for him to." It's like
Oh, yeah.
making the assumption that because this
Okay.
one time I was going to drive, he's not.
That
a gentleman.
I never drive, and
Right.
I expect her
She
to.
had made comparisons to people I've dated in the past.
And even if it were meant to be like, hey, you should do this gesture of romance or whatever, you
Hey,
can't
would
make
just, like,
someone
yeah,
do
but
that.
it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't like for me. It wasn't that. Oh, like does he not drive? You
It's
like just maybe
anywhere.
have him drive. It like out of a like parental concern, I guess.
Yeah.
It was about. Oh, we would like to see him drive. If he doesn't do that, we are displeased. We don't think.
right. It's,
So even if
Yeah.
I don't drive, they want me to drive for them.
Yeah.
But
That's
an
so
extension
stupid.
of that is we're going to meet them at tomorrow for dinner, and I had mentioned
twice in one
Yeah,
week. Oh
yeah.
my god.
That was my idea because I felt good after
was-
the dinner
we
on
had
Tuesday
agreed.
because it was nice. It was pleasant. We all got along.
But I knew-
Your mother said some nice things about me.
You wanted
it was fine.
you wanted
It
a
was
second
fine.
family date. It's yeah.
yeah. But like I said, every day is an audition.
Particularly because your stepdad made the comment like, and it wasn't, "Hey Taylor, you should bring your boyfriend over, like off, like a little bit, like and we can all like
Yeah,
hang out."
he said,
It was,
"Hey."
it was,
You
"Hey,
guys."
you should have Taylor bring you over."
I mean, in the past, I've tried to avoid.
As the man, I need to.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, in his defense, in the past, I've avoided bringing significant others to my house, as you can see why.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I don't.
Smart move.
But today I was talking to her about dinner today, and I said, "Hey, I'm planning on driving because I know where I live. I know where my house is. He doesn't.
Yeah.
It is my house is like almost an hour away from this point. From campus, it's like 25 minutes." Massive difference in time, saving some time. And she responds, "Sure, sometimes he drives, sometimes you drive. It's fine."
So it's just stepdad.
It's both of them, but it's like so random and so
Wishy-washy.
there's no way to
And
please them.
Well,
And
they're
that's a-
trying.
Are
Well,
Maybe.
that's the thing. They
don't
say
know.
that, but in my mind, I'm like, let me drive tomorrow. It's going to be a different issue. If that, like, that's the thing. They'll be even fine. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
they'll be
they'll
even fine with the
definitely
idea
find something.
until we roll up in your car, and suddenly,
And
and
maybe-
suddenly,
maybe
Right.
I'm
it's a
being
problem.
selfish, but if you drive, then they'll make me stay.
That's true.
You can drive away in your car and la la la, and then I'll have to stay there and they'll have to take me to class on Monday. I
9
can't do
a.m..
that. I can't do it. I need
It's
to
gonna
go
be okay.
home. If I drive you, I have to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
And so,
This is going
like,
on for
wrapping
too
this
long.
up.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Sorry.
Yeah,
this is way
wrapping
too
this
long.
up.
No, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
we are not.
Back to the question.
We really can't be even who we are as individuals,
No.
let alone be who we are as a couple in front of her parents
She thought
at
you were
all.
nice. They thought you were
Which is
very
which is
nice.
great, but if
But what does
every
that mean,
every
really?
time is an audition,
Then yeah, of course you're
it doesn't matter.
Right.
Oh, I can completely identify with not being who you are in front of parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Not your parents.
Oh, I was gonna say mine.
My
No.
parents.
No, right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so.
Wow.
That ended up being like a vocal novel. So
No,
sorry about that.
I'm not. It's fine. It's fine to go long. It's just I was just
No, I
thinking.
get
It's
it.
like. So what was the question?
What was the
How did we get
question?
here? Like
Now
what
it's your turn.
Right, it's your turn now.
Oh, great. So the question was, what do my friends and family think about you?
What is always the reaction to meeting your SO?
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't have a lot of friends,
Same.
But you do.
and so I guess I'm just trying to think because it was so long ago. Like, when are new people?
Like we're ancient.
Well, it was a long
was
time.
so
Back in my day.
Yeah.
People are really commenting about how driven you are, how dedicated. Because like you'll have an idea, and then that idea happens, and nothing will stop that idea. It's like a juggernaut.
Nice.
So that's what a lot of people's like very early reactions to you are, and then just how funny you can be because, especially lately,
Yeah, I have been really funny lately.
Like you-
I've been working on it.
you've just been like.
Been studying.
It's like when you level up and you get to choose a skill to improve.
Yay.
It's just like comedy. It's just like always what you're focusing on now, and it's just like it impresses me sometimes. So, and other people are just like, she's super funny.
What made me think of this, because I just thought it was so funny when we went to prom together.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that was the reaction. That was
that's
just
amazing.
like, what?
I want to tell the story.
Okay.
All right. So
Can't
so Jody and I didn't go to high school together. She went to a different school, and we weren't in the same grade anyway. And so
You were 2010?
Yep.
Okay, so it was
the seniors with the 10 and the.
Shut up.
Well,
It was so cool, and
you like to brag about it,
Yeah.
so.
I got it though. Okay.
Okay. So it was fun to have for my prom, and so I, invited you because we were dating, and
Thanks.
you know how it
Good
goes.
reason.
You know how it goes.
Guess I have to.
And so I went, and there was suddenly this girl that was there, that other people hadn't seen before, and she was new, and so I was really proud because I was just happy to have you and display you for the world to see, whatever, as like man-ish, and as like I own you now, as that sounds like it was just I was just proud to be like.
This is my
I can.
girlfriend.
Right,
Like-
this is my girlfriend, and she's amazing.
Aw.
And real.
And real.
She-
She came down from Canada. So after the dance, when everybody was like just hanging out and chilling and everything, one guy came up, and you know who this person is. This was, I don't know about the names, but I'll say it. That is the accurate. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think you know who it is, but
Oh, jeez.
so how best to describe him?
no, this is all you, man. It's all you.
You're leaving me here with this?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay, so in all legitimacy and likelihood, this person had mental issues.
Yeah.
He was not altogether there.
Aw.
But he presented himself like he was, but he wasn't. And so he did not know how to talk to people. He did not know how to have a normal conversation with people. He would always have this presumption
He was
of...
on the spectrum.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
very much so.
He probably, looking back, had very severe Asperger's.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
But sorry for saying "but" and then taking a big drink. But at the time, you don't know that, and anyway, he's just this guy that exists in the world, and nobody hated him
Right.
because you couldn't.
No.
Right.
Because
Even-
it'd be cruel. Like, it would feel cruel to do that.
Even besides that,
However,
yeah, he was.
he was a jackass.
Nobody,
Yeah.
nobody hated him, but nobody liked him because
Gotcha.
he was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, this person is coming over now. We have to."
That one person in high school that would walk down the hall and everyone would collectively head and eye roll.
Yeah, it's like this guy. So, specific to this situation, he... you're going to have to help me with the exact wording he said, because you've been saying this for years. So, I don't know if this was how he acted to everyone, or specifically me and a group of people, but it was always like, we're friends, which we weren't, and since we're friends, which we weren't, I can talk to you as if we were friends, which we weren't. And
Which you can't.
Which you can't. And in the way that friends do... Not us, because we just don't. We're just not like that. But where you're like ragging on the other person all the time, like it's like
we are not like that at all.
This is not, but the kind of it's like, oh man, you're the worst person. Like you're terrible. You're so stupid and everything. But like laughing as you're saying it or whatever. And so
like
that's how
completely out of context. Like just not even like
hey, Taylor,
prompted by a joke.
You're a piece of shit.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, right. So this person would go up.
You and Seth.
Okay, yeah, we're horrible.
Yeah, you guys are horrible.
We're awful.
You guys are horrible.
Anyway. Go on.
So this guy would come up, and this sounds like an exaggeration. He would repeatedly in high school come up to me, say something mean or offensive, as if it was a joke, and then just leave. And not to be a bully, because he thought we were friends, and that's how friends communicate with each other. Mm-hmm. And so you can't... I was never offended by him. I was never like, oh, you can't say that. I was just like... This is just the way this guy is. So prom night, and this guy approaches me sitting on the bench. You were there, or did you?
I was there.
Okay, so you were there, and he comes up and he says to us,
Alex, even you have a date? What is this world coming to? I think he was just like, you have a date and I don't? What is this world coming to?
Right, something like that. And so immediately the obvious thing is, it's like, this is going to suck for you. I can't get involved. I have to just be like,
yes.
I am a put-together person. I don't know what to tell you. And again, you don't want to be...
You don't want to be a jerk.
Right, what do you say to that?
What do you say?
He was a jerk, so what do you do?
You kind of want to be like, it's like, yeah, well, you're the worst. But you can't say that you're the worst, so you're just like...
Did he expect you to play along with those?
I still, to this day, have no idea how he expects...
and then you had, and it was like...
I don't know. No, I don't think in our entire high school run anyone ever... stepped up to him or challenged him or anything.
They were too afraid to.
Right, everyone was too afraid. It was just like, yeah, okay, and then just left.
Yeah.
So this guy was, and man, he would frequently like talk about problems that he had physically, because apparently, like, he also had some physical problems.
Oh yeah, that's what I noticed first.
Right, yeah. He would talk about like his stomach situation, which I don't even remember at this point, but
I just remember feeling gross and I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, every time he would talk about like his stomach situation, everyone would be like, no, please stop. But again,
Is this like during lunchtime?
I was just gonna say it's probably during lunch.
Yeah.
You're eating like sloppy joes. It's just like, please, no.
There was one time where he talked about him not being circumcised.
Oh, okay.
It's like...
I'm just like,
this is fine. We can stop.
Colt and I are just in the, like, having lunch, just chilling.
It's hot dog day.
He's just walking around like, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm uncircumcised. Like, I was gonna tell you, it was like, hey, so do you circumcise guys? Like, what's that like? And he would just be like, and we're just like, what? Uh-huh. Well, all right, I'll see you around.
I'll see you around.
So,
catch you later.
Yeah, he would say stuff like that too, and be like, "All right, see you around," or
see you later, alligator.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The song "Oh Oh Oh It's Magic," never believe it's not.
I was there for this.
Just wait a second. Who's that song by?
Originally, I think it's
originally.
Is it? It's not Boston, is it?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. We can look it up. Do you want to take a short break while this is looked up?
Keep talking, I'll figure it out.
So, I don't know who the original artist for the song was, but
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez did a cover of it, and it was very popular. And there was a talent show where this guy went up and did the song "Oh Oh Oh It's Magic," and by Selena Gomez, not the original artist, whoever it was. Pilot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. So not by Pilot, not the original artist,
by Selena Gomez.
He specifically made a point. It's like, I'm going to do "Oh Oh Oh It's Magic." I don't even know the name of the song. I think it's just Magic.
One of those.
By Selena Gomez.
And you were like, no,
Oh,
And
that is not canon.
Well, he did this in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were all
I don't
just
know
like,
why. Oh, because you were in this talent show doing that a cappella.
oh, was that
That's
the same
why I was.
one?
I was like, I was out of high school at this point. Why in the hell was I?
Was that the same talent show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
So
That would have been the only reason I was there. That'd be
Sure,
the only reason
sure.
I'd be there. Yeah.
that
Wow.
The acapella arrangement I did, by the way, was John Williams is the Man, which is
Yes.
a great YouTube video.
Yeah, that's
people need to
fantastic.
see that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Of you?
I was in it. No, the YouTube video.
Oh.
The YouTube
I was
video
like,
was
I have to watch.
some famous person. No, but I just did. Me and 4 other guys. Did
Gotcha.
this.
Anyway,
But this guy did It's Magic. Never Believe It's Not So. In front of the whole school. And
by Selena Gomez.
By Selena Gomez. And yeah, so he was just not all there, and it was very hard, especially in high school, for high schoolers to not to just be like, how do we navigate this person
Right.
in a successful way? And this was one example of
People reacting to.
I just couldn't believe it. Like only knowing Alex, going to this prom, like don't know anybody, and the people who would just walk by and be like, "Oh my God, Alex has a girlfriend."
right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
wow. Like
Well,
in
'cause I
just
was
complete
super-
shock.
Okay, so me in high school, when I first started out, I was a complete idiot. I was a kid. I was just a goofball. I was just like, I'm weird and clownish. Connor knows this.
I wouldn't say it was more clownish, more like statue-esque.
Ooh, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Like
Like stand in the corner, like just like.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. That's
that was
what I,
maybe your external. Maybe that was just your external life, and not like your but your external life was very much just the.
They can't see you.
You know exactly what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? And that
Yep.
that was just a physical gag
Yep.
that nobody on the internet listening to this saw.
Right. Well, as I got older, that's more what I became. I just
Yeah.
became more introverted, more just like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it to myself, stay out of everyone's way. But people, I think, still knew me as just the goofball, the weird one. Especially people who came from middle school, because
Sure.
I was even more so back then. And I was just like not put together as a person either.
Sure.
Like I would wear like really baggy clothes. My hair was just huge.
Crazy.
Same.
Yeah. So
Same.
super self conscious about it all of a sudden. But
No, it looks good now.
cool. I mean, thank you. But in high school, I was just a goof, and so when I got a girlfriend, especially one who was like very attractive and very like
Aw.
put together person, it was just really awesome for me to go back to high school or be in high school and people would see you and be like, "What? There's no way, right? Like I'm being punked or something."
Like the guy who became prom king. He literally, I remember him specifically coming up and being like, "Oh my God, this is your girlfriend." Was just like,
Which one was that? The tall one?
yeah.
Super tall.
The tall-
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
The tall athletic one, prom king, you know.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know the type.
The tall jock one was in football?
Quarterback. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Probably, but yeah. So that was that story. Man, that
It's
guy.
always my. I just love that story.
I'm not able to judge the film Master of Disguise adequately.
No.
Because this guy was such a huge fan of it and would quote it constantly.
Oh,
And so-
it's such a good movie.
and so
and
when
by good, I mean just funny.
Yeah, and so when I finally saw it, I was like, I hate this film because of
Because
this
that guy quotes. Oh,
Oh,
that's
that sucks.
awful.
I
Because
know.
that
When
is
people
definitely
ruin
one of my
things for you
favorite.
just by being themselves.
Because it's not the fault of the movie. It's not the movie's fault that I hate it.
No. Well, it could be, but you
I-
never know.
I mean,
but you don't know.
You will
'cause
never
you're-
know. You'll never find
You were already
out.
prejudged.
Yeah, maybe
by
the movie is just terrible. I can't
I'm
judge it
sure
adequately.
many of people think it's terrible.
Maybe.
I got that impression from it though. Like, even if it weren't for this guy, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's that guy.
Glad the question about me turned into. No, I'm just
I mean, everything should.
it was really funny. though.
Honestly, he's the best person I've ever met.
Awesome. Well, that's my question.
Cool.
My question is not in any way about this stuff.
Good.
My question is there an element in science fiction or fantasy
I love the question. Okay.
that you would like to see more of or explored more
in science fiction and fantasy.
in science
going
fiction or
forward.
fantasy? Yeah, in those
Ooh.
kind of, I would call them heightened genres.
This is a great question.
Wow.
Even though they can be grounded, I think they're heightened dramas.
Yeah.
Or heightened genres. For me, so like I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I also grew up with the remastered, versions
Special edition
coming
ones.
out in the theaters and on the VHS. Like, I would call it the Star Wars second wave.
We've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know how you are, but I've seen every Star Wars in theaters.
So have I. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Because
like,
of
I
releasing
feel
them.
because of where we were born and grew up. Like we got to experience the second wave of Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm very thankful.
Before the prequels and before the TV shows,
Yeah.
and before this new trilogy. But I'm a Star Trek guy.
You are a Star Trek guy.
I am a Star Trek guy. I was basically fed Star Trek in utero by my mother.
I was too. Fun fact, Alex is named after a character on Star Trek.
That's true.
Is his name Alex?
Alexander.
Alexander
Worf's
son.
Great.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much joy that gives me.
Wow.
My mom loves him for that sole fact because my mom is a Trekkie.
Yeah,
Points.
she is.
Huh.
You didn't know that? I could have swore I told you that.
Huh. Anyway,
There you go.
but yeah, and
And there it is.
there are times in either the shows or the movies that because
How do you really feel?
because of what they try to do with the genre, it's more about like uplifting humanity, and so they don't explore some of the less nuanced aspects of like space travel.
Yeah.
And this is a comedy show.
Right.
But I bring this up not because I'm trying to be funny. I legitimately one time just want to see someone come out of using like a bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I know like other science fiction, like Blade Runner, is a good example of like good sci-fi that, or also Babylon 5 is also a really good show about space travel where they incorporate things like, oh man, I gotta go take a shit, or oh man, I gotta go take a piss. Hang on one sec.
Yeah.
But like in Star Trek, there are times where the shows and their brand of the genre is very sterile, and because of that, we don't talk about the bathroom.
right.
Jean-Luc Picard
This is about spaceships
does not use
going
that.
off. Like we don't talk. God damn!
Gene
Like
Roddenberry was very
Captain Kirk
anti-Kirk.
must have taken some massive shit.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
You know,
like
of
come
all,
on.
Of all the captains, Kirk definitely took the biggest dunks ever.
Right, exactly. So I don't know. Like, and I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for like.
Wait a second.
All I want is to see a character use a bit.
No, I know. I just. But like
man.
for example, in this, because there is a new series, Star Trek series coming out. Whether it's going to be good or it's going to be bad, I don't know.
TBS, right?
CBS.
CBS.
I don't know. I want a little more grounded, and I think Star Trek can still do that grander theme, uplifting humanity. We're on a course to greatness if we just
Take a
they
shit.
just go to
And sometimes like people are people, and they got to get up in the middle of the night and take a piss. I'm just saying. Sometimes they oversleep. Sometimes they oversleep, and heaven forbid they're late for a shift.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying.
You know, Jean-Luc Picard got up like at least 5 times a night to take a
Well, like that's something that I really like about the last episode of TNG. It starts out with just 2 characters, like just on, like in one of the decks, like the halls, just walking around. They clearly just been working out or something, and Picard comes around the corner in like this bathrobe. He's literally like, "What year is it? What date is it?
What
Captain? Are you okay? I think I just came from the future."
What year is it?
It's like
What?
Like go back.
But
to
no,
sleep.
that's what I mean. Like it wasn't like, oh, Captain, what are you doing? Oh, man, my shower's broken. I gotta go use the public showers, like on this deck. It was he's in this very human moment for a gag or for like a sting or for like it wasn't like. Maybe the captain just like ran out of hot water. I don't know how that happens on a spaceship, but like whatever.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I'm dead.
well,
that's so funny.
That's like mine.
Well,
Anyway,
here's the thing though, is you just often won't see that because it's not what the story is.
I mean, sure, yeah.
And so there's tons of things that happen on Earth today in modern times, like a drama or an action movie, where you just won't see characters go to the bathroom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I do agree that in scenarios where it might be more, it's not our world, so we don't know what everything looks
Right.
like. Show us more of the world. Show us more of the stuff that's not so sterile.
And that's really what I mean, is show us more of the mechanics of your world, but even if there isn't a way to do that organically,
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is ground it.
Right.
For me, just from what I've been exposed to, I'm kind of getting tired of this always epic, always grand science fiction fantasy, and because of things like Game of Thrones, and things like, I'm trying to think of like a science fiction equivalent, but I can't right now. Because of that, you can still have those same grand epic storylines and broad themes, while still having very human, very grounded moments.
So, Game of Thrones is a great example of this. Because, and this isn't really spoilers, but it's there's a scene, I think season 3 or something, where Tywin Lannister is going to walk down the throne room and be, not crowned or whatever, but be respected by the king, Joffrey, who was just going to be like, yeah, good for you, and everything. And it's a very noble scene. All the lords, all the nobles are there. They're all in this thing. But the scene starts with the horse that he's riding on dropping a deuce right on the floor.
Yes.
And they show that happen right in front. Like, the camera is dead on it. It happens. It's not like it accidentally does this in the background of the shot. That's the point of the scene. And then he walks forward and he's like all noble and everything. That's like... And that's very specifically the point of not just that scene, kind of the show and the books, is like this noble, epic thing is it's just people, it's just humans, it's just dirty, gross people.
My answer was gonna be Game of Thrones, and I completely want it to go in a different direction from what you just described.
Oh.
I don't want to see... I mean, I do, because that's why I watch it, but how someone uses the bathroom in those times,
I didn't mean for this to devolve into like literally seeing shit.
Scatological humor.
Let's talk about poop.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book?
But that's
poops.
like, it's true. I get so... Speak for yourself.
That broke Connor.
He's broken.
All right. This podcast down for repairs.
No, but anyway, I get so frustrated watching Game of Thrones, and I know that Railroad Martin...
George Railroad Martin,
yeah. The way he writes it is to be frustrating, and how, revenge is never the answer.
Right.
But sometimes I really want revenge to be the answer.
Exactly. And
that's what I want.
So you would want like more of the escapism?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can't do it in real life, so you want to see someone do it somewhere else where it's acceptable, I guess.
And escapism is very important. That's something that I think we need to consider.
Well, that's kind of a point of the genre. And you can still have escapism while still having your toilet scene.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes you just want a guy who deserves it to get stabbed in the fucking eye, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but so much of
while
it...
he's on the toilet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
so much of the time, it's
but
not
I think a lot
when
of,
you want it.
Right, a lot of the times people will confuse like escapism for desire for actual bad things to happen.
Right.
So I think George Railroad Martin is very specifically with Game of Thrones and with the books, Song of Ice and Fire, saying like, it's kind of messed up that we're rooting for this person to go on a horrible murderous rampage.
Right.
Like Arya Stark's entire story arc is all about like, this is messed up.
I'll put it in one thing. All I want in Game of Thrones is a wedding that doesn't end in disaster. That's all I want. That is all I want.
I think that could happen. I think
it might. It hasn't gotten there yet. But I've seen.
I think if they do that, it will be like kind of the point is maybe the end, maybe the finale will end with like a wedding. I'm not saying who it will be for, but the thing will be it's like, here's a wedding that's good, and here's why it's good because of all this horrible stuff that happened before it leading into it.
Maybe.
We'll see. I
don't know if the old railroad has it in him, but we'll see.
So do you have like something?
Like, I'm really fascinated, and we've had this conversation before about like, you and I have, about like the way things could have worked out Like, if, like, factors were...
In history or in pop culture?
Just in your own life.
Yeah, we've talked about this just, like, in general life.
Right,
in your own.
Yeah.
Like, if I hadn't forgotten my keys, I wouldn't have gone back into the house, and then, like, I wouldn't have been late, and then later I found out that, like, someone's car exploded.
Right.
Next to mine. It's like something like that. You know?
I think about that all the time.
I think it'd be cool, and I also don't watch a lot of movies, so I'm not aware if there's, like, a movie about this, but I think it'd be really cool to, like, follow somebody. This is mostly just like an idea for a story, but like follow somebody through their like just one day, and like each time they make a decision, you can see. I don't know how you would do it, but you can see how if they hadn't made the decision, how that would progress.
You should
and
watch.
It just branches into like
You should watch The Butterfly Effect. I know, crappy as a movie that
I've heard
Is
that.
it bad? I've never
It's
seen
got Ashton Kutcher in it.
I love Ashton
to me-
Kutcher.
I do too.
Yeah.
As a person,
Oh, yeah,
but
he's-
as an actor,
Unless
I
he's
don't
Michael
think it's a
Kelso.
bad movie.
Right.
I think you see
Yeah.
every moment from a mile away.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's what I think it's
very
not a great...
telegraphed.
I would watch it.
I've always wanted
it's-
to
I
watch
would
it.
enjoy watching it.
it's
I want
it's
to.
hard to watch.
Oh, it's not. So it's not like a cinematic masterpiece, but it's not garbage.
No.
Okay.
It gets
But,
under
yeah.
your fingernails, that's for sure.
It just
It
amazes
bothers
me.
you.
That's
Yeah.
good.
like-
That's good.
All the millions of possibilities of like where I could be right now. This exact one is happening because of all the things I've decided to do.
Yeah.
So-
Like, it'd be cool to see.
That's exactly what Game of Thrones is.
Spoilers. There's an episode of Community that we haven't got to yet, but it deals kind of with this idea where early in the episode, I think in the first like minute or two of the episode, they're like all hanging out and they're like, "Oh, the pizza's here. Who's going to go get it?" Nobody wants to, so they roll a die, and they decide who goes to get it based on that die roll. And things happen, and then the episode starts over, and they roll the die again,
cool,
and it
yeah.
goes, and somebody else goes to get it,
Which is
And it
how
just
I
shows-
thought Cabin in the Woods was going to go.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to get to that episode because it's one of my favorites, and I think you'll really like it.
do you have a different answer for Connor's question?
Yep, I probably do. By like next week or next episode or whatever,
Gotcha.
I will probably have a much better episode. I mean,
Answer.
answer.
As soon as you press like stop.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
But so I'm a huge fan of time travel.
Yeah.
I just think that the idea of time travel is so fascinating. Whenever a competent story, you can do it terribly, obviously, you can do anything terribly, but a competent story introducing time travel can have so many possibilities for like story and plot and just message. Because I think that's what the point of science fiction specifically, fantasy too, and all genres, but I think science fiction specifically is able to just talk about humanity and what humanity is and what humanity
We've
is.
talked about this before.
Yeah, just think about how many like shows are about robots and artificial intelligence and are they human and what does it mean to be human and all this. And I love that kind of stuff. And so time travel is very good at saying like what are our lives meant to be like, and things like if we go back and change something, like why is it abhorrent morally to go back and change something, but right now we feel like we wouldn't be able to make any changes? Why is now solidified? I mean, why is the future not solidified, but the past is? Why can't we go back and change something and then it will have been changed or whatever? So I would like to see more time travel stuff, but like not the story isn't about time travel, but it incorporates time travel, because I just don't think it happens enough. I think you could have a story like it's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, where you have this story that goes and exists in it, and it has this flow to it, and reaches a point where it resets, and a guy gets to start over, and it's like
He doesn't start over.
well, he sees his
he sees the life.
he
if
sees
he
the
was
life
not
that he
there.
wouldn't have. Yeah.
Right.
It reminds me a lot of what you are talking about, what you'd want from that, and also you talking about It's a Wonderful Life. Have you seen the movie Nicolas Cage? One of his good movies, The
might know.
Family Man.
That is
Oh,
a good
no.
movie.
Like he goes not back in time, but it's this idea that
It's a parallel
something
universe.
else. He made a different choice,
Yeah.
and now he's living the parallel life of that, and he gets to experience what that would be like. But when that's over, it's not, oh, it resets. Oh, you get to make that choice. It's, you're still back where you are.
Yeah.
Are you going to make the choice to still have this with all of that baggage? Are you willing to still
That sounds cool.
carry
It's
your
a very-
baggage
it's a very
and
good
move
movie.
forward?
Way better than.
I love, yeah, it's,
Like,
as far as Nicolas Cage is concerned, it's one of his best.
I agree.
I think.
I completely agree.
I've never seen it.
I would love to watch that with you. I think you would
let's do
love
that.
that movie.
I think we should do a commentary.
Ooh, good idea. I thought you were going to say, I don't remember the name of the movie Next, where you could see like a minute and a half into the future or something.
Well, I actually thought of that movie when she was talking, when Taylor was talking about her. I'm like, no, I'm not even going to bring that up. No.
That was, you know how I feel about that film? That film existed. I saw it.
Yes.
That's all I can say about it.
That is exactly it.
Also, I cannot remember what movie I saw recently. I know we saw Doctor Strange, but I'll use that as an example. I've seen frequently a movie where I'm like, I love the world they've created, especially one that's not like just people sitting around talking or an action movie or whatever, but something that has a world and a lore to it, where I don't want this to end with this movie. I want there to be more to this. I want another movie specifically so that they can explore more about this idea. Or
that's why I'm so attracted to television right now.
Yeah.
'Cause I think television is doing that a lot more these days. Instead of like your 1 hour drama, it's for 1 hour you get to explore these characters in this world.
Right. Like
whether that's comedy or drama or sci-fi or fantasy. Yeah,
we saw Doctor Strange. I'll use that as like to talk about this, but they have this idea of magic and how the magic works and the rules of magic. And I'm like, this is really fascinating. I don't want the credits to roll and then suddenly in the next Avengers movie we're just not talking about this anymore. Like I want them to play with the rules of magic more.
Yeah.
So that's my answer is time travel and also just rules about a specific thing. Yeah. So that was a question that you asked. I asked one. You asked one.
So what's your question?
My question. Have you ever had like an interaction with a stranger that like frightened you at first, but then you realized that it wasn't, like you were just imagining like there was no actual danger? Because like I'm sure I have, but the first thing that I think of is a story my grandma told me where she was at a restaurant with some of her friends, and across the table, like in between like the window that her friends has created, she could see like in the booth beyond her, there's this man just staring intently at her, like right into her eyes with like no shame, just directly like eyes like, oh my god. And this like it happens throughout the entire meal, so the whole time they're there like for like an hour, he's just staring at her, and like she's trying not to look at him, but you can't not look at him, you know. And he's like barely not blinking, and he's just and then she's thinking like, oh my god, does he want to kill me? Does he think I'm pretty? Like, because
those are the only two
right? And she's like, because he's kind of cute, but he's freaking me out. Like he's
right.
Yeah.
This was she was maybe like in her 30s or something.
It wasn't really an Edward Cullen situation.
No, he actually left. Fortunately, no.
Wow.
He left before they left, and as he was getting up, she saw him pick up, like, I don't know, like, that, like, stick that blind people use. To feel around. And he gets up and he's just, like, walking away, and she's like, oh my god, I feel like an asshole for no reason.
Wow.
That's really funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know where that story was going to go.
Me neither.
But I did not think it was going to go in that direction.
No, me neither.
It's creepy, though, because, like, you're scared for a minute, like, what's going to happen?
Can I tell a really, really, like, kind of off-color joke right now that might make people uncomfortable?
Do it.
He didn't know what direction that story was going either because he couldn't see.
Yikes.
All right, so let's move on from there.
Yikes.
I'm trying to think if I have one, but while I'm thinking, like, somebody else.
Okay.
By all means.
I don't know if I have one, so.
No?
I don't...
Really?
No, I'm sure I can think of
I'm
one.
sure
I'm sure I do.
One.
Right.
I just wanted to pass it off to somebody to pad for time, but I guess we can't really do that, can we? I guess I don't have one that exactly fits that criteria, but I have one that's like, it was a scary situation involving another person that, like, I wasn't really in danger, but it was just frightening. So I used to work at Applebee's, I can probably say that. And
Which that was 2 jobs ago. Yeah.
that doesn't matter. But I was a busboy and I would clean tables and stuff. And one time we had this guy come in with his wife, I presume it was his wife, and they came and sat down at a table, and I think the waitress had come over and taken their drink orders or whatever. And then they had either gotten their drinks and were waiting to find out what they wanted, or they hadn't got their drinks yet. Either way, they had just got there, and after a second, this guy, like, threw what he had in his hands, like his food or his drink or whatever, threw it on the table, and like jumped up almost, and just started storming out the door.
Oh.
And his wife like just started picking stuff up and just like left and followed him. And like everyone who was there was like, what just happened? And they were like watching him, and he like threw the door open, and he got into his car and like slammed it, and then just turned it on, and almost immediately started driving away. His wife had to like jump into the car, and then he just drove away, like really just sped out of there. And we were all just like, what just happened? Like, what did we just witness? Is he going to go home and like
Murder her?
do something to his wife or whatever? Because like we were all just super like, we were all really uncomfortable for a minute there, and so we were like, nobody wanted to like get in this guy's way or whatever, because he looked like he had the look on his face of like, if anyone says something, he will hit them or something. So that was a very terrifying situation. Yeah. What about the guy in the bathroom? Not when you were in the bathroom, but at McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
So we're at McDonald's, and we're sitting. I'm facing the bathrooms that are usually in the back of a McDonald's. Like,
and whenever we go out somewhere, we're usually sitting facing each other.
Yeah, we always face each other. Very rarely do we ever, if it's just the two of us, sit side by side. I think that's happened like once. And so it's late. We had been. This was like a year ago because we were Christmas shopping, and so, you know, it's late, we just, like, got dessert or something, we're just sitting there, and that, like, just only a few people in the restaurant, and, this guy walks in, like, this old, creepy...
Wearing camo, so it's probably like a vet or something better.
Okay, wait.
He's wearing camo, how'd you see him?
Probably.
He's just like,
all right.
dishevels, like, goes back to the bathroom and, like, doesn't even seem like he's looking, and just, like, walks into the women's bathroom. I had no idea if there was a woman back there. But just the way he did it, my heart was just like, we have to leave now. I literally was like, we have to go. But as soon as my heart felt that, he got out of that bathroom and went into the normal bathroom. But the person who was cleaning the male bathroom, so he like walked out and was just like, "What the fuck just happened?" But I literally was like, "We have to go."
Yeah, so
I jumped out of my chair.
Gasp.
I didn't see that happen. So I'm just like looking at Jody, and we're eating. And we might have been in the middle of a sentence. Or
you
whatever.
were probably talking, and I was probably just like,
and she was just like, we got to get out of here. And I was like, what? She's like, we have to get out of here. Get your stuff, because you pay when you get there, when you get your food. So we just like...
Yeah, we just had drinks or something by then. I was like, grab your drink, let's go.
We went to the car, and we were just sitting in there, and she was like, that guy. And like we looked in, we could see through the windows, and he was still like...
I don't even know what he was, but I was just like, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't...
It was very scary for me.
Yeah. He was probably just kind of just, like, tired, confused. Because, like, he seriously spent, like, 1 second maybe in the women's
Right.
But, like, the fact that you wouldn't, like, realize that. Or what confuses me more, I'm like, well, if no one's in there, how did he know he was in the wrong bathroom?
Absence of urinals?
I guess. Maybe. Do
But
all men's bathrooms have
Pretty
urinals?
much, yeah.
That's crazy.
At least one. There would have to be.
That's crazy.
Why does there have to
Yeah,
be?
why does there have to be? That's dumb.
You don't have to.
Talk about bathrooms.
Well, no, I just
That's
think
really
also,
dumb.
like, the difference between, I just think,
Right.
there's, every time I've entered a male bathroom, there's always been at least one.
Probably so you don't get people thinking, like maybe predator-like people, like, going in and using the excuse of, well, I thought I was in the right bathroom. Like, that could be it.
Be like, well, only
I don't
male
know.
bathrooms
I don't know,
do
but,
that.
like,
I don't know. I've talked about this on the show before. That I have an irrational fear of bathrooms, especially movie theater bathrooms, because
gotcha.
there's so many stalls.
there's so many.
Well, the thing is, he didn't seem like out of it or anything. So, because I would get if like he was just accidentally walked in, like, I don't know which bathroom I'm going into. But he didn't seem out of it. He just seemed like, I'm going into this bathroom.
Yeah, that's what was so scary. Because I was like, I think I had just come out of that bathroom is why I was like, I could have been in there.
Yeah, that could have been.
And what would I have done? Like, nothing. Because I didn't have my keys on me, which I carry mace always. But
Not a mace, but mace.
No, I don't think so.
it's different. For
I just, like...
You met this one weird kid named Alex, and then you became roommates with him somehow.
We met in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been, like... even like when a stranger talks to me, I'm always immediately on guard. Like just
me too.
Especially because this has happened once, and it wasn't even like that big a deal. But remember I was at a Meijer in my hometown, walking back to my car, and it wasn't like nighttime, like 11 or like midnight, but it wasn't afternoon. It was only like 5-ish, so like it's starting to get dark, but not really. And there was a guy in the store walking behind me, and then he was still behind me when I left, and he was still behind me when I'm almost in my car. Stories. And I'm thinking like, okay. Like at this point, I have my keys like in my hand. Shut, like
me too. Yeah, I always walk like that.
So
and I always
like
have
a little
the mace,
dagger.
like,
I've got like my thumb hovering over the panic button. I'm thinking I can just circle back into the store. I can scream as loud as I can. I don't know what to do.
I hate those moments when you're like, should I ask somebody to walk me out?
Well, it's like I can.
You don't want to be like this.
I can feel him behind me. Like I can hear him walking, but I can also hear myself walking. But I can feel him, and he's getting closer. I'm like, what am I going to do? And he's like, ma'am.
It's like, you forgot your mayonnaise. No.
It's like, you dropped this. And it was something stupid, like a receipt that I don't need. But like, he really followed me to give me this receipt. And thank you.
Is this an excuse or is this real?
Yeah,
seriously.
And then he's like, have a good day. And we both stood there for a second. Like, I'm waiting for him to walk away so I can turn around. And he didn't for a sec, but then he did. And I stood there. And then I ran in my car, locked the doors, and peeled out of there. But like, it wasn't dangerous, but as a small woman, everything's dangerous. Like, literally everything with a human that's slightly bigger than me is dangerous.
The social contract of that situation is that he leaves first. Like, he hands you the thing.
He needs to be self-aware enough to,
That's just the thing that he does. It's not on you to be like, oh, thank you, now I shall go. It's, he's like... Oh, here, I got this for you.
But, like,
goodbye.
it could so easily, you reach out for that receipt and he just, like...
Because
breaks your arm.
I have been on the other end of that. And for when I was in that situation, like, as, like, this larger male to the smaller woman, just... Not even like here's your. I think in this case it was like she had forgotten like a whole bag.
Yeah, so you
of
a
things.
receipt though.
So I was like, excuse me, ma'am, like this is your bag, and I like. As if I was ready to like here, just take it.
Take it.
So like
you're like, please, I don't want to touch it.
No, that way she knew this was it. I'm just going on with the rest of my day.
And I hate to make the assumption that every male is dangerous, but if I don't,
it's never.
What then?
It never hurts.
The one time you think it's like, oh, I'm fine, then that will be the time.
That's literally
the most uneasy part about that was like, if he was returning like my cell phone or a wallet, I'd be a bit more trusting. It's like, okay, he's giving it back to me. It's a receipt.
Yeah,
it's like crumpled up. Like, why are you?
Bitch, I threw that away on purpose.
Hi.
I've been in situations.
You should just like keep it.
I know what I purchased.
Yeah, I don't need to return anything.
I need those socks.
I've been in situations where I don't have to return something, but I'll just be walking to my car and there's like a woman or a couple or whatever in front of me, and they're also walking, and I feel like I'm following them. Yeah. And
I'm very aware of that when I'm walking.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am as well.
As a woman, I don't care.
I need to make it seem like I'm not following them silently. I need to like make a noise or scuffle my feet or like just
make a non-predatory.
Make a sound so it's
I am so glad I am not the only person that does that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
there are times I've gone out of my way. There are times I have gone out of my way in my travel path to like be like, I'm going.
Right.
It's like
over here.
I need to get there where you're going, but I'm not gonna go there because you're going there.
It's funny. I did that to my like walking out of work to my boss, and it was lunch, and he's in front of me, and I'm like behind him, but I'm pretty close, so I literally just like stopped walking so he could get at least a few feet in front of me.
Grab your phone. Hello.
Yep. Yeah. Then I started just walking with my phone in my hand as a safety net, and then he stops, and then you have to be like, sure is nice out. Have a nice lunch.
Right.
The only time I do feel aware, like, just for my own, like, anxiousness, I think, I hope these people don't think I'm following them.
Right.
But the only time I really feel like that is when I'm maybe with, like, a mom and her kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I might feel like this lady might think I'm, like, trying to take down both her children. Like, I'm not, I promise.
Yeah. No. As we established at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, no children.
No children.
I don't want your kids, believe me.
Please, you couldn't pay me. No.
Yeah. It's like, oh, please don't take my kids, handing them to you. That's not
You'll be like that, I'm sure.
Wow. That's rough. It's a tough situation.
Funny.
What just happened? So where are we now?
Oh, I'm really warm. Let's stop it.
No, You're radiating
I
heat.
know, I'm really warm from
Just
this
whoosh.
blanket. It's too much now.
You asked a question.
We're good.
We're good. This is it.
Wow, are we done already? It feels like the
Already?
time is
So
just
fast.
flown by.
Such a quick podcast.
What?
Yeah, sorry, I went super southern there.
Wow.
So how are you guys? This is Peeves and Q's. This is a podcast where we ask each other questions. No. Well, this was Peeves and Q's, and this was a podcast where we ask each other questions. You can find us on Twitter at Peeves and Q's. That's PeeVesandQS. And then you can also email us if you have questions for us, comments about the show at peevesandqspodcast@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter myself at Mr. spelled out the long way, Red2342. That's Mr. Red2342. Does anybody else have a Twitter they want to plug?
Not that you know of.
Haven't touched
Not that I
mine.
would tell you.
What?
Gosh.
You guys have Twitters I don't know?
I used mine once. It's out there in the internet.
Do you want people to follow you?
I forgot what it was.
Okay, cool.
I know. I don't remember mine.
Yours is Clever
No, it's
Girl
not. It's
FX?
Well, that's my Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, go to Clever Girl FX on Facebook. Find them. Like 'em.
Studios. Yeah.
Studios.
God, you suck.
I'm new at this.
Look for that.
We're only... Oh, by the way,
Season and a half in.
completely accidental. This was not planned out. Our 13th episode was the Halloween one.
Nice.
Wow.
God, that was awful.
I mean, that was
No-
totally planned
Yeah.
out, because, yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
we planned it out.
planned
So, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening.